Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see in the previous slide, I took the Tailor Made Jane skin class, so if you want to stick around with me and see how that worked out. Alright, so we are starting with our foundation, and as you can see I'm placing that on my skin. That is Too Faced Born This Way in the shade of Butter Pecan, and I am using a Luxie 510 foundation brush. I do like this foundation, but it is slightly orangey, so I end up adding at some point the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless foundation in the shade 335. So I'll do that here in just a moment, but right now I'm just placing it on. She gave us instruction to place the foundation on not too heavy, but in specific spots on your face, and then you're going to take that and blend it out. So I really enjoyed that video and watching how detailed she was with placement on her foundation. So there I am placing that other foundation on. But here in just a moment you'll see me blend it out, and I'm telling you guys, if you have not taken this class, it is a must. I learned so much and I so enjoyed it. Guys, I forgot to give you details about my brows. So I did place Huda Beauty's banana setting powder on my brows to get them started. Then I used Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow, pomade, Benefit Speed Brow, and I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills angled brow brushes to achieve my brows. Now you see I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Tan, and I'm just placing that in the place that she advised us to. I really enjoy doing this technique. Normally I do my foundation all over and then I place my concealer on top of my foundation, but this technique was so much better. Like, you'll see, the foundation was flawless. It was amazing. You guys just don't understand. Y'all have got to take this course. So as you can see, I'm still placing that concealer on, and I know the color contrast is looking crazy right now, but keep watching and you will understand. So now I have jumped into my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Cream Kit. I did use the last shade at the top and the first shade at the bottom. Place those in the desired areas. And then I'm going to take a splash of that Maybelline Fit Me Foundation 335, just a dab of it to add on top of those shades, just to give it a bronzier color. And then we will begin blending that in here shortly. But this is the first time I've pulled this kit out in a minute. Usually I've just been using powder bronzers, but I was just trying to do something different. Since she did use a foundation stick as her contour, I wanted to use something cream as well. And I really love this Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, so I just pulled it back out. As you can see here, I am blending my foundation in, and I am using the Real Techniques 421 Soft Accent Brush. I believe this is the brush that she suggested for us to use, and guys, like, it blended flawlessly. So guys, I failed to mention that the Anastasia Cream Contour Kit that I used was the Deep Kit. Now, correction, those colors that I used are called Cinnamon and Chocolate. I also forgot to state that I prepped my skin with Formula 1006 Thirst No More Moisturizer, and I used the Smashbox, the Original Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. Now guys, you know it's very important to moisturize your skin before you do anything, and use a primer so you can fill in all those pores if you have exposed pores. But I still suggest a primer anyways, because your foundation just lays perfectly over top of it. Now, as you can see, I'm just going to continue to blend this out. And guys, I'm so used to using a larger and more dense blending brush when it comes to my foundation. But using this smaller brush was amazing. Like, I just cannot tell you how flawless this foundation came out. I was shocked the entire time of blending this out. So here I have finally started to blend in that concealer. Once again, that is the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Tan. Now, I did not take the foundation off of that brush. I just used that same brush to blend in that concealer. Now, funny thing is the foundation did not transfer to the concealer, like it didn't make it any darker or anything, which was amazing as well. But it just blended so well. Everything just melted together and married so well. I think this will be my forever foundation routine. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to change this. Now, here's just a tip I wanted to share. When I started blending my foundation, I never did a sweeping or rubbing motion. It was a continuous press or pat. I'm pressing that product into my skin. It just turns out so much better. Whenever you start rubbing and doing all this extra motion, that's whenever you get streaking. It pulls product away from your skin. That's the last thing you want to do with your foundation and your concealer. So here you will notice that I had some creasing on my eyelids, which is okay. So I picked up my BH Cosmetics brush number 6. Now, the shades that I have on top of my lids are Plouise Base 4 and 5 mixed together. I placed those on after I did my brows. So, of course, during that time, there is going to be slight creasing in my lid. It always happens. So I just took that brush and continued to blend that out. That way I could get rid of that crease. Now, I picked that Real Techniques 421 brush back up and continued to blend that concealer out just to ensure that it got tacky and stayed in place. That way, when it's time for me to put my setting powder over top, everything will stick and ensure no creasing. So here you can see I've picked up another Real Techniques brush. Unfortunately, I'm not home and I've left that brush at home. So I will make sure to put that information in the comment section, because by the time I upload this to YouTube, we still won't be home. But I am using that to blend out my contour. And once again, I'm not doing rubbing or sweeping motions. I'm just pressing that into my skin. And it is blending fabulously. So here I begin to blend my chin and jawline using the same Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Cream Kit in the shade Cinnamon and Chocolate. And I'm taking my time blending that so I can achieve a seamless look. I don't want you to be able to see where that contour ends and begins. I just want it all to blend nice and easily together. Now, once again, I am not doing any sweeping motions or rubbing. We are continuing to blend. We're continuing to press that product in to the skin so it will blend with the foundation and the concealer. So here I've picked up my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, and I'm using that to blend out the contour on my nose. Now, I am not a fan of that super duper skinny nose contour. Now, don't get me wrong, it may look good on other people, but that's just something that I don't like on myself. So I try to blend that out as much as possible. That way it leaves a slight highlight definition, but not that super skinny fine line. So here I've picked back up that BH Cosmetics brush number 6, and I'm just going to continue blending out that concealer in the middle of my nose. Guys, blending is key. That is how you achieve these looks. You want to continue to blend. I've picked up my e.l.f. Cosmetics 16-hour Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Beige. I'm adding that just to give us a little more lightening and a little more concealer under the eye. Alright, FYI, this concealer dries down very, very quick and very matte, which I am a super fan of matte concealers and foundation. But since it dries very quickly, you want to move quickly with this. So I did start to let it dry a little bit, and then I take my brush and I am moving very fast. That way it doesn't all dry in one glob and I can't continue to blend it. Now the same rules apply here. Blending is key. I'm not doing any strokes, any sweeping back and forth. It is a continuous pat. In my opinion, the patting ensures the perfect build when layering concealers. When I use a sponge, I feel like it's taking away the product as I'm building and I can see through it. But when I use this patting technique with the brush, it just blends seamlessly. When taking the class, Tailor Made Jane made it so easy to follow along, and she encouraged you to use specific brushes. Unfortunately, I didn't have all the same brushes that she did, so I used the closest ones that I had. But I just love the way the foundation came out. Like I said, everything was blending together well. And it's not always the products that you're using. Sometimes it is the technique. And following her technique was amazing. Once again, here you see me using that Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour kit just to build a little more of that cream contour on top before I use the powder. So here I'm jumping in with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder in the shade Banana Bread. So I'm just taking this brush and tapping that setting powder into my concealer, everywhere that I place that concealer. I like to pack it under the eye a lot because I crease very easily, and it's always that same spot every time. So I'm just going to continue to pack that on. But she said that she doesn't let it set. She doesn't really bake. So she kind of taps it in and just places it there and gets it where it needs to be and not leaving it heavy caked on as if she was baking. So here I'm taking my MAC Mineralize Skin Finish Natural in the shade Medium Deep. I'm just packing that in on top of everywhere I place that foundation. Now I could have used a regular compact powder foundation, but I just love the way this product looks over top of foundation when you're setting it. A good friend of mine put me onto it, and I haven't stopped using it since. I absolutely love to use this on no makeup days, but I can't get over the way it looks over top of this foundation. I really don't think I'm ever going to go back to my normal foundation routine. This will be it for the rest of my life. So as you can see, I added powder bronzer on top of that cream contour. So I picked up Trip for Two Blush and Bronzer Duo by Huda Beauty, and I'm using the shade Tulum. Here I'm going to continue to build and blend that powder in until the contour looks the way I want it to look. Contour is my absolute favorite part of makeup, so y'all gonna see me building that up for a good minute. So here I've picked up the Dark Blush e.l.f. palette, and I'm using the shade in the top right corner, and I'm using one of my Luxie foundation brushes, and I'm just going to tap that in. Remember, no sweeping motions, no rubbing back and forth. We are tapping everything in. Blending is the key. So she also gave us some bonus instructions, which included how to do a nice smoky eye. So we picked up our Plouise Badda black base and my Morphe M433 brush, and just blending that on my lid. Now she did say do not go to the outer corner or the inner corner, and don't go above the crease. So for the next step, she instructed us to blend out the edges on that base. So I picked up my SL Miss Glam T35 Precise Blending Brush. So next we chose a brown shade to blend in with the black, and I chose the Nubian palette by Juvia's Place, and the shade I picked was on the third row, second over, and I placed that on top of the black at the edge and begin to blend that in. The last shade I'm using for this shadow is Issues by ColourPop, and I'm using that to continue to blend in the brown and blend all the way up to the brow bone. Now here you're going to see me continue to go back and forth between those three colors, blending that out until we achieve the look that we're shooting for. So now we're taking a black shadow and placing it on top of that black base from Plouise. I chose the Aphrodite palette by Bad Habit, and I'm using the shade Heartbreak. Now we're just taking that black shadow and placing it on top to set that shadow in place. And I think that it gives it a darker look as well. That may be why she chose to add this black shadow on top. Maybe just to give it a little more definition and more pigmentation. Unfortunately, the video will soon be coming to an end because my battery died while I was recording. So I just want to let you guys know that I did use Essence Cosmetics You Better Work Length Definition Mascara, Buxom's Hot Toddy Lip Gloss, and I use Artist Couture Shimmer Haze Diamond Glow Powder for my highlight. Now I forgot to set my makeup with a setting spray because by this time my baby started crying and I got up to nurse him, and then I went back and took pictures, and after I took pictures I realized, wow, I didn't use setting spray. So this may be why I had slight creasing on the pictures. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will have more videos soon. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And I really enjoyed taking this class, guys. I will see you later.